Morning, everybody. Exciting. We are headed up to Dad's to put that new FAE head on the excavator. But first, just like Reed Flake stops off at the store every morning to get himself some hot chocolate, I'm gonna stop off and get myself something to drink here. Alrighty guys, got my drink. It's not a hot chocolate per summertime, but I'm a punk kid, so I get the red cranberry Red Bull. Actually really good. Got Dad a little sweet tea and we're on the road. It seems to be like my go-to spot every time on the way to Dad's house. Stop at this gas station, grab a drink. But we're gonna be switching out the CMAF head for an FAE head today, and we're pretty much looking forward to it. So I'll catch up with you guys at the house. Okay, before I get ahead of myself, today's game plan: put that head on that machine. We got to take this one off, and we don't actually have any of the steel here to make a new template, or what do you call it, quick attach unit. So we're just going to unbolt this one and drill some holes on that one over there, bolt that to it, and then the CMAF head, we're gonna have to source some new seals for it and try figuring that out. But for now, it's good cutter. If you guys are familiar with the quick disconnect couplers like this, your standard little guy, then we got these heavy duty ones. Look what that heavy duty one is just doing. It is just dripping. Couple pops on and off and those things are junk. These are way better. Let me actually get the name off of it. Stucci. Way freaking better. We put these on with a big old breaker bar. Electric impact power. How much do you think the blue thing weighs? That's what I thought. And the head weighs 948 plus the stand. Yeah, man. So this is the plate that comes obviously with the head. We're gonna take this thing off there, mark some holes in it, drill the holes, and just bolt this straight onto it until we go to town and buy. It's Saturday, so we can't go to the metal yard and get some of this steel. We don't have any more. We already made all of it up into these. So we got her centered up for the most part. The CMAF holes, they're offset just a little bit because of the tilt mechanism. So that's why this is off. But the thing is, you know, best eyeballed centered. It doesn't, you know, it's not exact science where this thing sits, but it does have options to slide up and down. So for now, we're just gonna mount it in this location. We got to take it off to put the big bolts in. Might move it back one, might leave it there. We have the hoses to consider. But what we're going to use is this bad boy. The only Milwaukee thing that V-Belt's got. Everything else Makita. Magnetic portable drill press unit. We're going to proceed with that one. V-Belt's bringing the cutting oil out. The keyless bit or a chuck just pops right out, and then you can put this milling one right back in there, magnetized, and she's ready to rock and roll. Oh, just popped the top. So chainsaw file, you know, does some damage to it, but this isn't your regular mild steel. So that first bit that we had, that fancy one, she didn't play ball. So we're gonna have to go the old school method. Drill a little guy, then work our way up to the 1 inch. Big bit. Done 3 smaller bits leading up to this big Larry. Thing got a low gear, or is it just flat out? Yeah, check her out. It fit perfectly. Imagine that. All 6 of them. We let's tighten those up before we bolt that down. I just got back from town. Got a bag of goodies, and I got another. There's 2 circuits on this thing. It's got a hood on the front, then it's got a hood on the back, and it's all operated off of what would you call that? Head pressure.
Yeah.
So it's all electronically controlled. That's the same principle option that the 12 has, is something like this, but we opted to do the secondary circuit for the hood control on it. But on this, just easier to run another line. I already have one switch on this for running the grapple function. Hit this trigger and that turns the grapple into rotate with the controls over here. But I got this rigged up for both ways. It does that, it goes both ways. So that does the hood functions for the CMAF. So I'll just have another one of these switches set up for the extra hood on the new one. We have figured out the wiring diagram. Rockin' K, appreciate the help. He sent me a thumb drive information he had and called Jim, but it's Saturday, so it's a little bit difficult to try getting a hold of the dealer, you know, so they could open up their database and get us the stuff. But we got it figured out. This is, if you guys can see how I did it, because for some reason we always forget to get the adapter plug. But this is how I have the quick disconnect for the thumb for where it's wiring. I just have a regular extension cord plug in to make it easy. Just left it on there, and we did discover something which quite obviously is the whole entire problem. That thing is blown 2 seals. So I guess I'll take the blame for it because I'm the one who did install this. So right here is the filter for the case drain, but right here is a check valve that keeps the pressure, because the tank does get a little pressurized. It keeps the pressure, I guess, in case if you blow a hose or something, doesn't just pump the tank dry straight out back here. Well, the little check valve, very poor label on it from the start, but it was all rusty and it was kind of cruddied up when we got it, and it's even more so now. I think Dad's got it inside the garage there and he's trying to engrave it, so there's a distinguish mark on it. But it's been damn near 2 years since we put that on there, and it looks like an arrow, but it's actually a diagram of how the check ball is pointed in there. You think that's gonna stay? Let's see. Oh, did you cover up the actual mark?
I just traced over it.
Yeah, so looking on it here, I mean, this thing is, the laser engraved work on it is just, you can barely even see it. So you can see that that is a check ball diagram, but it looked like an arrow. So the fact that this thing is just very poorly labeled kind of got the best of me, I guess. But we did put the air compressor on it and blow the direction of release, so I need to switch these around. I guess we'll put it back in there. We'll get a new seal for the CMAF, and that should be good. But for now, Jim doesn't want the filter in there, so we're gonna go with what the dealer said, and we're gonna bypass that son of a gun filter and be on our happy way, and we'll have actual working case drain. So everything else is hooked up, ready to go on the machine's end, except for that case drain. And then, what the heck, we just need to, we left 4 bolts in here for now, so we can decide where we like this thing, and then we just got to hook up our 3 hoses, and we should be in business. Again, apologies CMAF, I'm going to blame this little guy. You know, I wasn't in a hurry when I put this thing on there, but that thing, I wish he hadn't covered it up with the metal marker. But yeah, that thing 100% just looked like an arrow. You had to look real close, squint your eyes. We tried to clean it up best we could, but the laser engraving on this thing is just junk. So my bad, I'll admit I failed right there, but freaking A. So that goes to show you can run a long time without a case drain. Long time or a short time. But we'll get her patched up. Learning, always learning. Feel like Logger Wade right now. 1 step forward and 19 backwards, and then we're slowly climbing back the hill. Just kidding, Wade, you're badass. I don't know if he watches this, but he's badass. So here's a little check sucker right here, just for curiosity's sake. How hard is it to push that little SOB down? The punch almost does it by itself. You guys can see down in there, maybe it's barely anything. So that, yeah, it does not restrict crap. Having it backwards though, it does restrict. Yeah. Well, first look at it, the new head on the machine. Got our rinky-dink wire thing going on, and we're trying to find if we got enough to switch over to the screw connectors, because this is just, yeah, this thing's a piece of crap. That is just, it's loose. The O-ring was sticking out of it. These things are good if you just leave them on there, but you can't use it multiple times, so don't buy them jokers. Like, I just saw it drip. It's on there, plumbed. We got these temp right now. We'll put the rest in when we decide we really like that location, but for the most part, she's ready to go. Let's go try it out. Well, I mowed the grass out here in the creek. Look at that, it chomped out that big stuff. Again, it's not a DCR, it's got a full bite when it tries to bite. And I'll give you guys one more good look at what it is underneath here. So when you get a chunk in here, it really chunks her up. We got the knives on right now. We haven't swapped them out, but for that job that we got near that pond, we're gonna have to swap those out, and then we need to get the hoses to get over there a little bit better. But you can definitely tell it's a little bit lighter weight, and the fact that the drum is smaller diameter, the machine can handle it just a little bit better. You still, if you're trying to get in a hurry, you gotta cut the head off to move the boom around. I might just mulch that down real quick just because I'm out here, but let's hop in the cab and just knock that out real quick. That's a somewhat okay view for you guys. Backside, I'll go ahead and open. Oh, it was open. Let's close her up, see what it's like. Pretty violent. Yeah, we had that other hood open the whole time. I was wondering, it was kind of throwing some stuff back. There, stick. The recovery time is way faster with this edge. Hit the ground a little bit with it, but oh, we got a stick stuck in there. 2 rows of counter cutters. Your finger can fit there pretty tight, but for the most part, it just kind of put a little shine on the teeth. I like it. Hell yeah, I like it. It fits the excavator style a lot better. That other one, the drum mass, was a little much, but you have the option of the other one to put a power pack on it. This one is you're tapped out. A little bit bigger machine than this. But yeah, buddy, good stuff right there. Here's some of the mulch that it did. Obviously I can go finer if I close the hood, shoots it straight to the ground, but this was the stuff I sprayed up here when I opened the hood. Oh, here we go. This stuff down in here. First time running it. Check her out. Yeah, buddy, good stuff. Hope you enjoyed the install video of the new FA head. That's the 100 model. Pretty simple install, easy, straightforward, no big deal, except for the wiring diagram. It's a little bit tricky. There's 5 wires. Each direction has its own wire, and then you got 2 solenoids to operate 2 different doors. Then the ground is the 5th one. But for the most part, just a little bit of trial and error, and then some of that help from Jim and Rockin' K. I appreciate that, Ken. Stepped in and helped me figure out the ground. Once you found out the ground, it made life a lot easier. But the comparison between the FA head and the CMAF after running both, it's things you would like to know prior to buying either one of them, because quite frankly, the 2 heads, that's a pretty steep bill to pay right there, but we got them. It's gonna be a little bit before the FAE head pays for itself, but I know it will fit in a lot more situations because we can put carbide on it. CMAF, no disrespect for you guys, I know I messed up big time with the check valve, blew some seals, and you guys stepped in and helped fix that. I appreciate that, but we really need to have the carbide option on the excavator mounted head. I don't know why it wouldn't be an option for you guys, because around the creek, around the pond, any nasty situation that you can't get a track machine physically drive it in there, need to have the carbide. But I will say this though, the DCR head, the bite limiter, on the bigger stuff with knives on it, that thing, plus it's got a bigger drum, so it's got a lot more momentum before it actually stalls. That thing just chomps and just goes, it eats in planes quite a bit more efficiently than the standard head with knives on it. That DCR goes a long ways when you're trying to take low horsepower and put it into something, you know, with production in mind. But nevertheless, the FAE head, I like it a lot for running on an excavator, or any FAE head. I love them, they're freaking awesome. But for running on an excavator, the smaller drum it doesn't take as much power to keep that thing rocking and rolling. And the response time, the recovery time rather, it's pretty dang quick with that smaller drum. And it's lighter, so it's not so much reaching out. The 080 weighs close to 20,000 pounds, so 1,000, 1,500 pounds out on the end. It's not that big deal to pick it up and scoop stuff back in, but when you're trying to feather up and down, trying to get some brush and stuff to get in the head, you can get the machine kind of rocking. So 500-ish pounds lighter, that's definitely a lot nicer for moving around. And when the head's powered on, it takes a lot of the main boom cylinder. Like I said, you still got to cut the head off if you're trying to track back in real quick with the whole boom, but you're playing with low horsepower, well, low-ish, so to speak. I would hate to try to run ahead on a smaller excavator, that's for sure. But guys do it, and they're making money at it, so whatever you can make money at, good job. More power to you. Nothing wrong with making money any way you can. But I'm very happy with that head. Come Monday morning, we're going to take that thing back out to the job with full set of carbides on it. I'm going to run to Dad's. It's Saturday night at, look at my freaking clock is, I think the battery is shot on that thing, because I don't, or somebody messed with it, because I don't think it's reading the right time. What time is it? It's 11 o'clock, Saturday night. Tomorrow morning, I'm going to rush up to Dad's. We're going to switch all those things over to carbides, and we're going to put it to the test. Carbides, it's not going to matter when we're mulching blackberries and, what do you call it? that stuff that grows in a pond, that nasty stuff. I don't remember what they're called. Comment below if you guys know what those are called. You know what I'm talking about there. Freaking every pond's got them growing out like bamboo. Going through that stuff, carbides, no big deal. But if I hit a rock with the knives, that's gonna be a big deal. Hit a rock with the carbides, kind of giggle and go, damn, I'm gonna avoid that rock. So, when you guys are installing a case straight, you make sure you get the check valve going the right direction. Double, triple check the diagram on there. Make sure it's a diagram, not a directional flow arrow, because that will bite you in the butt. But we'll catch you guys on the next one. Hit them buttons, like, comment, subscribe. CMAF, please listen to me and get some freaking carbides for that head, because that head is a killer head if it had some carbides. But the FAE head is going to take that position of get used more often because it's got a carbide option. We'll see you guys on the next one. Hit them buttons, like, comment, subscribe, and we will see you later. Bye.